What you're about to hear is not fiction. This is the true story of a respected neurosurgeon, found dead in the attic of his own mansion, wrapped in a blood-soaked carpet, wearing nothing but socks, with 2 bullets in his head. But this wasn't a random attack. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong. This was something far more sinister. This was a calculated execution carried out by someone the doctor trusted, someone he knew intimately. Welcome to FT Mysteries. I'm bringing you one of the most shocking murder cases to emerge from Detroit, Michigan. A case where love, money, and betrayal collided in the most deadly way imaginable. This is the story of Dr. Devon Hoover, April 23, 2023. Detroit Police Department receives what seems like a routine call. A family is worried. Their loved one hasn't answered his phone. He missed an important visit to see his dying mother in Indiana. They want a welfare check. But this was no ordinary person. This was Dr. Devon Hoover, a 53-year-old neurosurgeon, respected in his field, beloved by his patients, and known for his generosity and kindness. The kind of man who saves lives for a living. The kind of man who wouldn't just disappear. When officers arrived at the address, they immediately noticed something strange. A white Range Rover blocking the driveway. Expensive, clearly out of place, but it was what they saw inside that made their blood run cold. Blood on the interior of the vehicle. The registered owner? Dr. Devon Hoover. The officers secured the Range Rover, tagged it as evidence, and towed it immediately. But where was the doctor? That same evening, they went to Dr. Hoover's residence on West Boston Boulevard, one of Detroit's most prestigious addresses. The driveway gate leading to the rear of the house was wide open. They knocked on the front door. No answer. They knocked on the back door. Nothing. No one home. Something was terribly wrong. The next day, after the family's official 911 call requesting the wellness check, officers returned to the home. The gate was still open. But now, they noticed something even more disturbing. Blood on the rear exterior of the back door. A decision was made. Force entry. What they found inside would haunt them forever. During a protective sweep of the home, officers made their way to the 3rd floor. In the attic crawl space, they found him, Dr. Devon Hoover, face down, wearing only socks, his body wrapped in a blood-soaked carpet, 2 gunshot wounds to the head. This wasn't just murder. This was an execution. But the horror didn't end there. As investigators searched the home, they realized something else. Dr. Hoover's personal belongings were missing. No cell phone, no wallet, no credit cards, and his designer watches, his expensive Cartier watches, gone. Someone hadn't just killed Dr. Devon Hoover. Someone had robbed him, and someone was about to spend his money. Almost immediately after Dr. Hoover's murder, something strange started happening. Fraudulent transactions, multiple transactions, from Dr. Hoover's various bank accounts, cash transfers, credit card purchases, jewelry shopping. Someone was living it up on a dead man's money. But who? Investigators knew that in the digital age, everyone leaves a trail. They dove into Dr. Hoover's phone records, his text messages, his financial transactions, and what they discovered was shocking. There was someone Dr. Hoover had been in contact with. Frequently. Very frequently. Approximately 4,000 communications between them. Text messages that painted a picture investigators never expected. Dr. Hoover had been in an intimate relationship with a man named Desmond Burks. And it wasn't just a relationship. According to the messages, Desmond Burks would sometimes charge Dr. Hoover for sexual services. This was a secret life, a hidden relationship, and many witnesses were extremely reluctant to come forward with sensitive and personal information. But as the evidence mounted, a timeline began to emerge. On the day Dr. Hoover was murdered, cell phone location data told a chilling story. Dr. Hoover's phone traveled from his West Boston Boulevard address to the area near Desmond Burke's residence on Sussex Street. Then it returned to West Boston for a short period. Then it traveled back to the area of Desmond Burke's residence again. Finally, the phone made one last trip to Fairlane Mall in Dearborn. Dr. Hoover's cell phone never returned to his residence on West Boston Boulevard. He was already dead. But the digital evidence didn't stop there. Google account search warrants, cell phone detail records for both men, Range Rover location data, Project Greenlight video surveillance, Golden Fantasy jewelry store video footage. Every piece of technology painted the same picture. Desmond Burke's and Dr. Hoover's phone were in the same locations, at the same times. On the day of the murder, surveillance footage captured something damning. A man parking Dr. Hoover's Range Rover near Desmond Burke's residence. The man was limping, carrying a backpack, walking away from the blood-stained vehicle. Desmond Burke's was known to walk with a limp. He had previously been shot in the hip. Inside the Range Rover, investigators found a fingerprint. Desmond Burke's fingerprint. But the evidence that truly sealed the case came from search warrants executed at multiple addresses connected to Desmond Burke's. At one residence, investigators recovered one of Dr. Hoover's Cartier watches. A watch Dr. Hoover had purchased in 2020 for approximately $66,000. At another address, discovered in April 2024, investigators found another of Dr. Hoover's Cartier watches. This one was purchased just one day before the murder, worth approximately $7,500. The pieces were falling into place, but investigators had one more critical question to answer. What happened to the murder weapon? According to testimony that would later emerge in court, Desmond Burke's had given a bag to one of his lovers. Inside that bag were surgical glasses with Dr. Hoover's name inscribed on them, and a 9mm handgun. The lover testified that they helped Desmond get rid of the evidence. They tore apart the glasses and threw them in different trash cans. They burned the bag in a barbecue pit, along with a shirt and pair of jeans found inside. And the gun? They drove to a park and threw it into the river. This wasn't just murder, this was a cover-up. Dr. Devon Hoover was murdered in April 2023. But it wasn't until 2024 that prosecutors felt they had enough evidence to bring charges. On that day, at a dramatic press conference, the Wayne County prosecutor announced the arrest of Desmond Burke's. The charges were severe: first-degree premeditated murder, felony murder, larceny over $20,000, using a computer to commit a crime, possession of a firearm by a felon, and multiple counts of felony firearm. But there was another shocking revelation. This was not the first time Desmond Burke's had been charged with murder. On May 17, 2024, Desmond Burke's, then 33 years old, had been charged in connection with a road rage incident that killed an 87-year-old man named Mr. Sala from Dearborn. According to prosecutors, Mr. Sala's vehicle had bumped into the rear of Desmond Burke's car at an intersection. Both men got out. There was a verbal altercation. And during that altercation, Desmond Burke's allegedly punched the elderly man, leaving him lying in the street before fleeing the scene. Mr. Sala died from his injuries. Desmond Burke's was being held on a $1 million bond. No 10%. His lawyer had requested a competency evaluation. The question everyone was asking, was this man a serial killer? Or was something else going on? For Dr. Hoover's family, the arrest brought a measure of relief. In a statement, they said, "Today we feel relief for a step towards justice. He was an exceptional man, a doctor, brother, son, uncle, and friend who invested in our lives with unwavering kindness and generosity. Although nothing will ever reverse our loss, we are grateful that someone will be held accountable for Devon's death. In June 2025, a preliminary hearing brought even more disturbing details to light. One of Desmond Burke's lovers took the stand. Due to the sensitive nature of the case, the witness couldn't be named in reports. News outlets couldn't even reveal their gender. The judge's order was clear: protect this witness. The testimony was explosive. The lover described helping Desmond dispose of evidence: the surgical glasses, the bag, the clothes, the gun. Everything that could tie him to the murder scene. But perhaps most revealing were the text messages read in court. Messages between Desmond and Dr. Hoover from April 22nd, just one day before the doctor was found dead. Dr. Hoover had asked Desmond if he wanted to invite another individual back to his house to watch them have sex again. Desmond's response was chilling in its coldness. "I'm good on that unless you pay me. I didn't like it. I just did it for you." Was this the motive? Money? According to police, Desmond Burke had allegedly stolen more than $95,000 from Dr. Hoover, both in cash and items like those Cartier watches. Other lovers testified at the preliminary hearings. They described meeting Desmond on websites where people look for sexual encounters. They said Desmond didn't have a job. He made his money through sex work or by selling pills. One witness testified that Desmond would frequently complain about not having money. And then the day after Dr. Hoover's murder, surveillance footage showed Desmond at Fairlane Mall, buying jewelry, living lavishly on a dead man's dime. This week, Desmond Burke appeared in court again. His defense attorneys filed a motion to quash the charges, claiming the state doesn't have enough evidence. The defense argument was clear. This is a circumstantial case. There's no direct evidence that Desmond Burke pulled the trigger. No witnesses saw him kill Dr. Hoover. No murder weapon was recovered. No confession. The defense attorney pointed out that several witnesses were granted immunity in exchange for their testimony. They admitted to destroying evidence, burning clothes, disposing of the alleged weapon, but they received immunity for their cooperation. Doesn't that impact their credibility? Furthermore, the defense argued there's no evidence of premeditation, no plan, no motive, no communications suggesting intent. The fact that Desmond Burke was allegedly seen with a handgun about a month before Dr. Hoover was killed doesn't prove he intended to murder the doctor. And regarding the felony murder charge, the defense made a strong legal argument. All the Cash App transfers, the jewelry purchases, the use of Dr. Hoover's credit cards, all of that occurred after the doctor's death. The felony murder doctrine only applies when the intent to steal exists at the time of the homicide. If the intent was formed after, that's not felony murder. At most, the defense concluded the evidence shows a relationship between the two men, but not an intentional or premeditated homicide. The courtroom was silent as the judge prepared to deliver his ruling. Would he dismiss the charges, or would this case move forward to trial? The judge's voice was measured and clear. The court finds that a felony has been committed and probable cause that the defendant committed it. He acknowledged that this is indeed a circumstantial case, but circumstantial evidence, he noted, can absolutely be used at trial. This is a preliminary examination, he reminded everyone. These are allegations. The standard is not guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The standard is probable cause, and based on the evidence presented, the judge found sufficient probable cause on all counts. For first-degree premeditated murder, the judge cited the previous relationship between Desmond and Dr. Hoover, the defendant's actions after the crime, the circumstances of the killing itself, including the weapon used and the location of the wounds. 2 gunshot wounds to the head. That speaks to deliberation. For felony murder and larceny, the evidence showed that a Range Rover, keys, cell phone, cash, credit cards, and financial devices were taken. The amount exceeded $20,000, providing the predicate for the underlying felony. The motion to quash was denied. All charges would stand. The case would move forward to trial. As of now, Desmond Burks awaits trial. His next court date is scheduled for December 5th, which the judge has designated as the cutoff date for any plea negotiations. If this case goes to trial, a jury will have to answer the ultimate question. Did Desmond Burks murder Dr. Devon Hoover in cold blood for money? Or is this, as the defense claims, a circumstantial case built on speculation? What we know for certain is this. A brilliant neurosurgeon who dedicated his life to healing others was executed in his own home. His body was wrapped in a carpet and hidden in an attic. His money was stolen. His watches were taken. His life was erased. And somewhere in Detroit, an 87-year-old man named Mr. Sala also lost his life, allegedly at the hands of the same man. 2 victims, 2 families destroyed, 1 suspect. This is the story you've just heard on FT Mysteries, a story of hidden lives, deadly secrets, and the pursuit of justice. The question remains, will justice be served? Only time will tell.